It's always a wild night on a Friday night in LaLiga EA Sports, and this one indeed lived up to that hype, but it was wild for different reasons. There was only one goal in this game, but there was a lot more beyond that, especially at the very end of the game. There was a lot of Rayo Vallecano coming forward in this contest, especially in the first half, and then even more so in the second half. Both teams, though, came into this game in good form. Leganes off of a 0-0 draw at San Mamés against Athletic Club. Prior to that, they had beaten Atlético de Madrid here at Butarque. Rayo, a comeback victory last weekend in Vallecas against Girona. So there was reason to believe that both sides would make this work tonight. And although we didn't get any shots on target in the first half, there were snippets of teams pushing forward. Juan Cruz looking for Valentin Rossier, who played a big role in this one. Seydou Cissé was the first victim of an injury in the first half. Pulled up with a hamstring and ultimately had to be subbed out. Renato Tapia came in his place. That was a chance for Jorge de Frutos. Nothing doing, though, on this occasion, just dragging it wide of the target. Rayo continued looking for an answer, and they were mostly using de Frutos down the right-hand side. He was a big part of their attack throughout this game. Rayo had their fair share of corners in the first half as well. Isi Palathon was the man to take most of them. Dimitrovic came up with a couple of punches like this one. As the first half continued, there were moments of frustration because Quintero Gonzalez, the referee, he let play continue often through physical challenges like this one that some might deem a foul. In that case, it probably was, but Dani Raba got penalized for his frustrations. Rayo continued looking for moments to break through, and again they went to De Frutos down the right-hand side. Then Juan Cruz was the next player that came up hobbled. He'd be all right, though. He'd stay in the game. But he wasn't in for this corner, and it was another dangerous one. The shot from Alvaro Garcia took a deflection, resulted in yet another corner. Cruz able to get back on, and when Isi tried it again, it was a foul that allowed Leganes to get out of their defensive third. Then we got into added time in the first half, and that's when things got a little crazy. Sergio Gonzalez thought he was fouled here. We went from one end of the pitch to the other, and right before halftime, there was a chance. And watch Sergio Gonzalez, number 6 in white, against Randy Inteca, a little tug, and Quintero Gonzalez, the referee, decides that that was worthy of a red card. A decision that everybody else in the stadium disagreed with. It was bad luck for Leganes, but it sent Gonzalez packing early, and that meant one extra man on the pitch for Rayo for the entire second half. The ensuing free kick from Florian Lejeune sailed well over the goal. But then began Rayo's ascension towards finding the first goal, and it took them a while. Credit to Leganes, they were stout. This was a chance for Randy and Teca, and this is what Leganes did throughout the second half. Jorge Sainz was the halftime substitute to bring on some extra defense so that they could keep their 5 at the back line, their defensive shape. And Sainz played an outstanding game of football. Here he is again defending. This was for the better part of half an hour that Leganes did everything they could just to keep Rayo out of the net by any means necessary. Sergio Camello would come on as a substitute for Randy and Teca, the man who scored the 2 goals in the week prior in the victory over Girona. And Rayo continued. Isi's shot deflected. And for the longest time, it just felt like there was no way through for Rayo. This cross came in towards Rossier, who was equally as good today. There weren't many shouts for Leganes. This was one potential ask for a penalty. Dani Raba felt a slight tug there from Pep Chavarria. Wasn't enough by any means to keep any sort of penalty ideas in the referee's head. And then we had the moment from Alvaro Garcia, who put the ball into the box, and it bounces around for Florian Lejeune. Lejeune also felt like his side deserved the corner, which he was right to ask for, because it was Sainz who saw it out here. Leganes, you got to give them credit because they continued to fight. Yellow card given to Unai Lopez on that sliding challenge. And then we'd see Lopez and the Frutos come out. Sergi Guardiola and Adrian Barba came in. This was the point where we were wondering exactly where any goal might come from or if it was going to come at all. And off of a corner, Rayo had to work extremely hard to get there, but eventually they did. Lejeune's header hits the crossbar. Pathé Ciss's header is saved, but he follows it up and he puts it home, and he puts Rayo in the lead. Second of the season rather, for Ciss. A goal that would eventually hand Rayo all 3 points, but man, did they really have to work hard for this. Look at how many times Rayo had to put the ball towards the net. Credit to Leganes again. Crossbar helped him out, but Dimitrovic stops the first one. Ciss with the wherewithal, the timing, the reaction speed to get his foot on it and bulge the net, and that gave Rayo the lead on the road. So then Miguel de la Fuente came in because Leganes needed a goal. So you bring in your attacker, your striker, your marksman, the guy who's going to score for you. It would not be his night in the end. We would see why. But first, Leganes built up the courage to go for their goal. They only had about 15 minutes to do so. And once De La Fuente came in, Leganes actually seemed like the more likely side to score. This one wasn't cleared convincingly, and there was a half chance in there for Sainz. But then most of the action started to appear on this end of the pitch. It came even after Inigo Perez made moves to bring in Oscar Valentin and Ivan Bayou. So the substitution's made. And there were moments for Rayo where they were potentially going to score that winner to put the game away. This was a chance for Sergi Guardiola, though it probably would have been chopped off for an offside. Probably wouldn't have counted. Guardiola, who hasn't played much this year. Then this is when it gets crazy. Because first up, we've got a ball into the area, and Darko Brashenak is going to feel some contact here and go down. Now you can make your own judgments as to how much contact there was, but there was some contact. Brashenak goes flying, and the referee awards a penalty to Leganes. A chance to tie the game. Up steps Miguel de la Fuente. His shot stopped by Batalla. Another one stopped, and Valentin Rossier gets a foot on it to put it home and make it 1-1. Butarque goes nuts. We all think it's 1-1, but we got to look at it again because Rossier encroaches at the moment that De La Fuente puts the ball towards the net, and so it's a retake. So De La Fuente gets another chance at it, and Batalla says not again, and this time Pep Chavarria clears the action, and Augusto Batalla does everything necessary to preserve 3 points for Rayo Vallecano. What a contest this was. They get all 3 points. They win at Butarque. Final score, Leganes 0, Rayo 1.